All right, very good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Parrot Park Radio. Rick Fontaine, great to be back with you this week. Keep these fellas under control, and I will welcome them now because we've got a bit to get through tonight. But Ollie, welcome. You're back, mate. You got the Fight MND beanie on, and you're getting in the spirit of things. We wouldn't be too far away from the big freeze, but unfortunately that won't be happening. But you're all supporting Fight MND.
Yeah, g'day, Rick. It's good to be back. I've heard great things from Bobby and Pup there in regard to the way you go about it. I think they described you as the master of this kind of thing.
So from it, but it is nice to be back and not in agony this week.
Good to be here. I didn't get a whole lot of feedback, which I think sometimes no feedback is better than any feedback. So I think if I did an ordinary job, I reckon the boys would have been pretty quick to let me know. So yeah, it's good to be back and looking forward to get through a fair few that we do over the next hour or so.
Indeed. How's the study going? You've been heading into the books, I believe.
Yes. Well, I've got to say the study's going well here, don't I? But no, it's not going too badly. Starting to get to the busy part in the semester, which is exciting. It
is indeed. Pup, g'day. How you
doing?
G'day,
Rick. I'm good. Yeah.
Fantastic.
You're just talking pre-show. You're getting back to...
I'm getting there. I won't be running for a while, but I can at least walk now.
Yeah, no, that's all good. No, I've been all right, thank you.
Good.
Yep.
Now, Bobby, he's fellas, he's fired up tonight, I think, Bobby, and he's been
just a little bit.
Been working hard on footy-related stuff today, but the business is not suffering because of your head being down in the footy.
Not at all, Rick.
Got everyone else working hard,
gentlemen, and Bobby. Good to have you back, Rick.
Thank you.
Great to have you back steering the ship. So there's been a big 24 hours in the footy landscape. So no doubt we'll touch on that as we go. But a bit fired up about a couple of things. But anyway. Yeah.
At least footy's being talked about, and the possibility is there that it may return in a couple of months or so. But obviously there's a lot of water to go under the bridge, and I guess it could all be thrown out the water if we get an outbreak somewhere. That'll be pretty much it.
Yeah, definitely. Right.
So there's a lot of question marks, but yeah, a lot to talk about. A lot of meetings still to happen this week, and obviously over the next few weeks as well. I mean, I think it's pretty fair to say that the Premier, Peter Gutwin, has done an outstanding job. It probably has been the strongest leader out of every state and territory, I would have thought as well. He stood up to Jeff Kennett too during the week.
He's done a fantastic job,
yeah,
and
I think
quality leadership's very important this time, and he's been good. So yeah, but as far as footy, we obviously a return to training date was set by the AFL, announced at the weekend, and next Monday, as of then, clubs can return to training, and if you meet some protocols that have been put in place by councils and AFL and the NTFA. So currently at this stage, our club will have some meetings this week with our board, firstly, and then our coaches later in the week to see if we do that. And I'm pretty confident that we will look to resume some training next week.
Next week,
yeah.
Okay, so everyone's pretty excited about it. Ollie, what's the mood amongst the players about potentially being able to get out on the park, at least in a small group to start with, and do a bit of work?
Yeah, I think it's an incredibly exciting proposition. I mean, obviously the recommendations have come out and that's a real positive. But again, I think we were touching on it last week. In general, you've just got to sort of keep looking at the numbers. And I think we've got 16 active cases across the whole state, one in the north of the state, and it's been a fairly good couple of weeks. So I just think everyone needs to keep doing the right thing. And if they do that, then hopefully we'll get a season in. But yeah, I suppose it's all on us. So it's just about trying to do the right things and as a footy club, keep moving forward because everyone's extremely keen and looking forward to get out there.
I think a point to not be lost in all of this is the fact we talk about leadership, that our borders are closed. So if we can keep this number down, and we know that we don't have people coming in and out, or those that are coming in, are obviously got to self-isolate for 14 days anyway. So we've got a massive advantage being an island state to come out of this quicker than the rest of the country.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I just think in all of this, it's positivity is the key. I think if we can just remain as positive as what we can be and just be really optimistic, then whatever happens, we've given ourselves the best chance to get everything up and going. I think that's all we can do at the moment, and not worry about too much what's going to happen in, say, 2 or 3 months. Let's just worry about what we can now, and that's training in groups of 10 or 8 like the AFL have been, and then go from there and just keep our hopes up.
Well, Ollie, I'd have loved your positivity at the NTFA meeting last night that I zoomed into, because I won't sugarcoat it for our players and supporters that are listening to this. It wasn't overly positive from a lot of clubs. One club in particular said, call the season now, call it off. And then a lot of other clubs were against even giving ourselves the best opportunity to see where things are in July to potentially get a season underway, which was disappointing, really. I don't know. I reckon some clubs looked at it and thought maybe this is a easy out for them. Some clubs probably don't have the resources and the volunteers that our club are lucky to have, and probably don't even have a council in there where they're based that's really supportive to get things back, people back active and back playing, or at least training. And so some of these clubs are probably just thinking, well, this is an out. If we stop it now, well, then they don't have to continue to find volunteers and do this for the rest of the year, which was unfortunate. I believe if we can give ourselves every opportunity to get a season underway, and then if it doesn't happen, at least we can say, well, we've give ourselves the opportunity, and we've give all our stakeholders, which is the players, the supporters and everyone, an opportunity. And that would be by not cutting corners. There's the protocols that we'll have to meet to train next week are very stringent. Like they're full on, and we will endeavour, if that's the decision our club make, we'll endeavour to get that over the line by following all those protocols. So we wouldn't be certainly cutting corners on this. It would be, let's train and let's just see how things keep unfolding. And as I've said for the last few weeks, 0 cases, the more times we can have that, it's only going to make things better. And that, all of a sudden, mid-July, that figure of 100 in social gatherings could become 500. And then it opens us up to potentially playing some games. So, yeah, I was probably just walked away from that meeting last night, listening to a fair bit of negativity, hoping that the longer this goes on, people might be able to change some views on it. Otherwise, it went to a vote. I don't think we'd get it over the line. But I do like the NTFA and the current board. They're very, very good at listening to all clubs, and I believe they will sit back and listen, and hopefully common sense will prevail.
Anything to add, Pup?
Yeah, not a lot, obviously, after Bobby there. But no, I've obviously been talking to Bobby today about it, though. But, yeah, I totally agree with Bobby, as in we've just got to give it every opportunity we can. Obviously, the last 2 weeks, how far we've come. Hopefully, like I said, we keep these 0 cases in another fortnight. I don't think Upone will change the dates that he's got. But if, like Bobby said, if we can, in another 2, 3, 4 weeks, if it's looking really good, and he can say, well, listen, yep, if we can possibly get out to that 500 people out to be able to support football clubs, well, yeah, hopefully we can get over the line.
Big few days, big few weeks coming up, and no doubt we'll talk about it more in the show tonight. But we got to get to an ad break because our first guest will be on the line very shortly. So time to hear some messages from our fantastic sponsors from the Bridgenorth Footy Club, and our first guest will be coming on up after this break.
Club sponsor Lagana Tyres and More are opening early and closing late to give you the best service of your tyre and mechanical needs. Helping you with your vehicles is our priority. We specialise in special interest vehicles and motorcycle tyres. We've been servicing West Tamar for 20 years. We have a loyal customer base and we are equally loyal to them. Go Parrots!
Visit C&W Electrical Launceston for all your electrical needs. If it's heating and cooling products, power points and switches, LED lighting or solar power, C&W will have the solution. 100% Australian owned and operated and supporting local families and community and sporting clubs. The friendly team at C&W has over 130 years of combined experience in the electrical industry, so no question will go unanswered. So if you're building or renovating, get in and see Flinty and the crew at C&W Launceston, a proud sponsor of the Bridgenorth Football Club.
Parrot sponsor Bird and Herd is a food truck and catering business by Jason Lim. They specialise in low and slow smoked American style barbecue, juicy brisket, fall apart ribs and lip smacking delicious wings. They're taking bookings for Christmas parties now. Mention the mighty Bridgenorth Footy Club and you will get a 10% discount. Check out our Facebook page for info.
Welcome back to Parrot Park Radio. You're with Rick Fontaine tonight and also with Ollie, Bobby and Pup. Great to have your company. Now, our first guest tonight, he's, a veteran, you could say, of the Bridgenorth Footy Club. 193 games at the club, 92 seniors. So, if we get to the 8-game roster this season, he plays 100th game and then hopefully some finals because he'd love to play in a winning grand final team. Unfortunately, he's never played in one. He's been in 5 grand finals with Bridgenorth and Bracknell. And, as I said, 193 club games. Backman for the Parrots. Logan Wright's been good enough to join us tonight. Logan, how you doing? Logan, have we got you?
Yeah, you got me this time.
Fantastic. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. How you going?
Excellent. Going very well. You got Rick, Ollie, Bobby and Pup here, but we were just chatting in the introduction, mate. We gave you the big plug, and then we got to grand finals, and of course, unfortunately, you haven't played in a winning one yet. But we were saying if we do get an 8-game season, you'll be able to, barring any injury and obviously form and getting in the team, you could get up to 100 games this year. But it'd be nice to get an elusive premiership as well.
Yeah, it's been a while between premierships for me now, so I've played in the last few losing ones, which isn't much fun, but I guess it's the way footy goes.
It is. What have you been doing with yourself to keep yourself fit, and particularly now, you normally have a couple of months of footy under your belt. What have you been doing with your I guess your weekends in particular?
Pretty much nothing, to be honest, just mucking around at home.
Very good.
I've been injured, so it's been a bit of a blessing in disguise for me to get myself right.
Yeah. Excited to get amongst, a small group of your teammates over the coming week or so?
Yeah, I am. It'll be good to get back amongst the blokes and have a bit of a chat and kick of the footy and whatnot. So,
G'day, Logs. Bobby here.
Hey, Bob.
Mate, I just want to firstly say, last year worked with you in the back line. Your leadership you've shown, mate. You went to Bracknell for a few years and you come back. The way you led the back line last year, mate, I think was fantastic. And, great effort by yourself. What have you found, or probably who have you looked up to, I guess? I mean, you played a lot with Gary Shipton. Has he been one that I know you're very close to him, has he been one you've looked up to and modelled your career on a bit in your time there at Bracknell?
Yeah, pretty well. It's probably more so started back when I was a young fella first coming into senior football with the likes of Nunny and Sellers and Shimmer and that playing Holloway, playing down the back line with them. I was a young fella and they were kind of leading the way for me as to how I had to play my football as well, which I probably learnt that at a fairly young age. But yeah, when I obviously went to Bracknell, I had Mark Edwards there also. He was pretty good with that sort of stuff. So
yeah, definitely. And like I said, mate, your leadership was fantastic, and as you know, as a younger fella coming through, it's so important for the young fellas, and we had a pretty young side, especially in the back line. I think the way you led them was great. Who can you see coming through out of that young group of defenders that can really take the next decade by storm at the club?
There was a couple of times there throughout the year I looked around to see who I had in the back line with me, and I think I was the eldest one at 27 there a couple of times, so I was fairly young there from time to time. Like Nordy and Paddy Stankham and Ricey, we can keep all those young blokes around. They're a good-sized body as well. and they can utilise their run and that off the back line. If we all work as a team, I think they can all play very good footy, and for a lot of years to come out there, and I can sit back and watch.
Hey, Lokes, how you going, mate? Woody here.
Hey, Woody, what's going on, mate?
Oh, not too much, mate. Just got a quick question for you. Obviously, it was it was my first year at the club last year, but it was a really big in for you to come back to the club. Do you think you're a bigger in for the club on the field or for the off-field side with the functions and all the rest? Because you're certainly in the top couple at the functions most weekends. What are your thoughts there?
I would have definitely been on the field, I reckon. Yeah, I'm not much of a talker at the best of times until I get a few beers under my belt. So, but just like when I'm on the ground, it probably just comes more naturally for me to talk.
Any stories you want to share there, Ollie, about you've thrown him under the bus there about his at the bar? You got a story?
Well, I do remember last year one of my first sort of experiences at the club was they did the tour of the pre-season, which was obviously an accumulation of a fair few things that had gone on, and I'd been playing cricket, so I hadn't seen anything, but I do remember seeing a video of Logan sliding on top of the team bus as part of the presentation there for him to pick up that title. So he's obviously goes pretty well if he gets recognised to be just that little bit above everyone else in those kind of circumstances. So that would probably be one in particular, but I'm sure there's a fair few in the bank that I don't know about.
So recognised, with wrecking being the proper word there. Indeed, if that happens, he does that sort of business, does he?
Well, I'm sure you'd have to ask him. He'd have a fair bit more of an idea than what I do, but yeah, for more reports.
Oh, very good. Thanks for sharing. We're getting to know a lot more about Logan. Pup?
Yeah, g'day, Lokes. How are you, buddy?
Good, mate. How you going?
Yeah, all right. You're obviously keeping fairly busy during the day with your building and that so on. I've obviously come across you a few times, and you guys have got a fair bit going on, haven't you?
Yeah, well, that's probably one other thing for us. We haven't really stopped at all at work, and still got plenty of work going on. So, which is good for us, but at the same time, some people haven't got any work and so forth.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So I'm still pretty active and physical during the day, which is good.
Yep. Yeah, and obviously, getting back to when Bobby said, obviously he's a young bloke coming up through the ranks and always played most of your football in the back line. That's one thing I did notice with you coming through those ranks. You're very lucky, as in knowing how to read the play. It's just a gift that you were given, because you can coach guys for 10 years and you just can't teach that aspect of the game that you have got, and your composure that you had as a young bloke. So it's a credit to you the way you've gone about that side of your football, mate.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's probably one of my better assets. I'm able to read the play very quickly, and I can read the flight very quickly as well, which, like you say, it's an asset to me. And probably playing a lot of senior footy at a young age, which has probably helped me develop that a lot more too. Yep.
Listen, while I got you too, it's something that we do each week. Obviously, let us know, without thinking too much probably, who is one of the most annoying players that you've come across at Parrot Park.
I'll say Shippy because he always talks to me. He'll get me back for that, no doubt.
Does Silly make the top 5?
Oh, yeah, Silly would have to be up there for sure, wouldn't he?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good to hear.
Comes up every week, doesn't he?
He does.
Very good. All right, Logan. Well, good to chat. Glad we got the gremlins out of the system. We were able to have a conversation with you. But good luck with the coming weeks ahead. Hopefully, footy's headed in the right direction. But a lot of water to go under the bridge. But part 1 of season 2020, hopefully not too far away. Let's hope you can get on the park and close in on 100 senior games with Bridgenorth.
Yeah, it'd be nice. That's for sure. So yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us tonight, mate.
Cheers, Logs. Cheers, Logs.
See you, Logs.
So, Logan Wright, halfbacker, and he goes all right, doesn't he?
Very tough, yeah. Loves standing under a pack when the full forward's coming out, and he'll just do the thing for the team and take the one in the back of the head.
Yep.
And, very strong like that, gutsy.
Certainly someone who'd have a lot of motivation for the season, wouldn't he? He'd love to get that premiership medallion.
Yes, close on a few occasions too. The Bracknell ones, a couple of them were pretty close, and then last year we were leading at 3/4 time.
Indeed. You've just reminded many supporters, mate, of that.
And a player in Dolly.
Absolutely. All right, time for a break. When we come back, Grace Walker's going to be our next guest here on Parrot Park Radio. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly.
Parrot's major sponsor, Lagana Tavern, are back in the kitchen preparing tavern takeaway for you. Taste the tavern takeaway menu with many of your favourites available Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and pizzas available Friday, Saturday and Sunday with our regular $15 Parma specials on Monday. Check out our pinned post on Facebook or have a chat to our friendly staff for menu details and specials. Order from 3 p.m. for pickup from 5 or give us a call on 633 02 772.
Statewide Business Systems is a locally owned business supplying point-of-sale equipment to the hospitality and retail industry within Tasmania. They provide sales of new POS equipment and service to all makes and models. They also supply thermal and paper rolls for your POS and FPOS terminals. For contact details, call our office on 633 48 555. Go Parrots.
The Bridgenorth Football Club would like to thank their bronze sponsors, Agency 36, for property sales in the Greater Launceston and surrounding suburbs. Call Steve Crawford today. Boathouse Cafe, with the best food and coffee, call in to see Isaac Lethball. Harvey Electrical, see Matthew for great service and installation. And Bruff Race Engines, built strong, built tough, and built to win. They also do your daily drive. So please, now more than ever, support those who support us.
Welcome back to Parrot Park Radio. You are with Rick, Ollie, Bobby and Pup, and a big thanks to all the partners and sponsors of Bridgenorth Football Club. Well, from Logan Wright, we turn our attention to the women's football team down at Bridgenorth. I know Bobby looks forward to this every week to catch up with one of the girls to see how they're tracking. And, well, for our second guest, fellas, tonight, it's her first season at Bridgenorth. Obviously had played at South Launceston back in 2018. And great to, a bit of a coup to have her coming down, Bobby, as we welcome Grace Walker. How are you, Grace?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. Not too bad at all, thank you. We were chatting tonight about hopefully not being too far away from getting a bit of, well, at least the training underway, and hopefully in the weeks to come we might get a bit of a season happening. You excited about that prospect?
Really excited. We've missed it definitely over the last couple of months, seeing Bobby and the girls, so very much looking forward to getting back into it.
Fantastic. Now, you grew up on Flinders Island. Where did you get your first taste of football?
Oh, I guess it probably was on Flinders. I was quite into my netball in my younger days and would play a couple of games of footy every now and then. But it probably wasn't until I moved to Launceston during university that I had a mate that was really keen on it and just thought I'd give it a crack, and that was at South Launceston. And so, yeah, it's kind of continued from there. Well,
lucky for football you did, Grace. G'day, Grace. Bobby here. How are you?
How you going, Bobby?
I'm going well. Yes, lucky for us that you did take up footy because you go very well at it, and it's great to have you at the club. Now, you've got a very big family connection at the club. Obviously, your grandfather was president for quite a few years. All your uncles would have played there. Your sister Lucy's playing in the women's side with us. Your cousin Zara. Your brother Tom played in the under-18s a few years back. And you're actually cousins with Silly Walker. So is that the reason, all those family connections, you came to Bridgenorth? No doubt it is.
Yeah, for sure. We're sort of dominating, aren't we? I sort of went to South Launceston, I guess, for my first year because the Bridgenorth women's team wasn't a thing then. But I always had in the back of my mind, I know Taylor and Kendall Brumby always thought, were always saying, we're going to get a girls team together. And so I was, definitely keen as soon as I got a team up and running that I was pretty confident that I'd make the switch across. So, and it was just a bonus, I guess, that I had all my family members to be there with.
Yes, it's been great that you have made the switch across. Unfortunate we haven't played any roster games yet. You did play in 2 practice matches, which you were very, very good in. How did you find pre-season? We've spoke to all our guests from the women's side so far in these shows, and it's been a strong pre-season. I, as coach, have been very happy with it. How did you find it as someone that come from another club?
Really good. I think I sort of made the decision maybe a bit. I joined in on the pre-season training a bit later than some of the other girls, but that was fine. I found the sessions really engaging. A really, really good community of girls that, you and Pup and the other boys are responsible for creating. So, it was really good to get my fitness back up again and just get into some work, really.
Yeah, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can train in some form anyway. Mightn't be,
fingers crossed.
Mightn't be as we did pre-season, but it'll be in some form anyway. Over to you, Pup.
G'day, Grace. How are you?
I'm good, Pup. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Good to hear from you.
You too.
Yeah, I've just got a couple of things here. Obviously, what Bobby touched on, what impressed me with yourself and also your sister-in Lucy is just your commitment level at training. And I only saw the second practice match, but just the way you girls lead by example, so to speak. Obviously, we've got our leadership group, but the amount of girls that we've got in the team that are just going to be born leaders and like I say, lead by example on the ground. A credit to you.
Thanks.
And just another thing I really love, obviously Bobby's got this push-up challenge underway, and I have a bit of a look through Di's Facebook page because I'm not into that high-tech stuff. But seeing you girls do the push-ups, and I had a tear in my eye watching you do it with the blunnies on. Love the concept.
People comment on my Blunstons all the time, and they're actually I would wear them on the farm, but they're actually more stylish ones. Got them from Allgoods, so I love getting them out. I wear them most days, actually.
Oh, so you've got those? Yeah, Bobby's got a pair on by the looks of them at the moment, actually.
The RMs I got on, mate. Yep.
I love it.
Bobby's a snob. He's gone. He's gone up a level, hasn't he? Look at him.
Yep.
Look at him.
I wore
polished it before you even came here tonight, by the looks of it.
No, they just haven't been out all year.
Oh,
mate.
right. Okay.
Good on you, Bobby.
Your bunnies would fit in well out at your work as a school teacher at Deloraine High, Grace?
Yeah. Yes, they do. Some of the kids reckon that they wish that they could wear theirs to school too.
How is work going? Obviously, with schooling and that, things have changed a lot. Schooling from home and some at school. How have you found that?
Very different. Considering it's only my second year of teaching, it's definitely been a bit of a curveball. But look, I mean, some of the kids that are in my class that are learning from home are actually doing really well with their schoolwork. So fingers crossed they bring those good work habits back to school with them when they return. But yeah, it's a bit of a ghost town. We've obviously got some students that are still needing to come to school to learn. So just getting on with them and having some interaction still, getting out and doing some physical activity because there's a fair bit of sitting down going on and looking at screens. So it's different, but finding a bit of routine with it now, but very keen to have them back face-to-face in the classroom, that's for sure.
I noticed you got a couple of the students to help you with some push-ups Friday too, I think.
Yeah. Any chance that they get to be in front of the camera, and one of them was like, the Bridgewater girls are going to see this, are they? Yeah. So they love it.
G'day, Grace. Ollie here.
Hello, Ollie. How are you going?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Just wondering, is there anything you're looking forward to in particular about being a part of the Bridgenorth Footy Club? I know a couple of the girls last week were talking very highly of the functions and the reputation that they have. Is there anything, including that or apart from that you're most looking forward to about being at the club?
There's a lot of things. Like we mentioned previously, I guess the family connection is, I'm pretty proud to be a part of the club, and also getting to play in the same team as my younger sister, Lucy. I'm stoked about that. Like, we get along really well, and I'm really pumped to be playing in the same side with her. Apart from that, just meeting all of the girls. The only other girl I knew prior to this year was my cousin Zara Bumby. So meeting heaps of new faces, getting along to the functions, extra fitness, connections, and obviously, as you would all know, there's no better feeling than after you've just played a game of footy. So all of that together, super stoked for 2020 or 2021, whatever it may be.
Now, Grace, you mentioned Lucy. Lucy, you live with Lucy here in Launceston, but she's still on the island, I believe. I was messaging her last week, and she said she was.
Yes, she's been there for the past 8 weeks. So I've been a little bit lost without my partner in crime and having someone to kick the footy around with. She's coming back this Friday because she's got to return back to school. Grade 12 goes back next week. So she's coming back on Friday, and I'm really excited. I'll miss her heaps.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think you did tell me you didn't get home in this last 8 weeks either. You didn't get back to the island?
No, I wasn't allowed. It was going to be too hard to get home and then have to isolate with the whole family on the farm and force them back into isolation for another 2 weeks. They'd already been in isolation because Lucy had gone home. So, and considering my work situation, I sort of needed to be back, going back into teaching life after holidays were over anyway. So it could have been a bit sticky, a bit risky if I'd gone home. And it wasn't looking good for me anyway. So
yeah, no doubt, doubt, good to catch up with Luce later this week.
Yeah, no, really keen, and I think she's had a great time at home, but I think she's ready to get back into a bit of routine and the swing of things, and fingers crossed footy as well.
Absolutely, it's going to be a big end of the week for you guys. It'll be very, very nice indeed. Now, one final question, Grace. We've heard a lot of girls who, with a lot of different clubs, have had a netball background. From netball to footy, I mean, obviously, footy, it's about running with the ball. In netball, you can't run with the ball. You basically can't do anything other than, obviously, gaining position. But the movement is so important in netball. Did you find given there are so many girls that are playing footy that have played netball, what have you found from that sport that's really helped you in footy?
I guess fitness is really important. In netball, it's, go.
Yeah.
The same as footy. Just general awareness, agility, and obviously most important is being in a team environment. So having to communicate with other team members, really important in any sort of team sport. So that'd be probably at the top.
Excellent. All right, well, look, been great to catch up, and no doubt it's going to be great for you to catch up with Lucy at the end of the week as well. But thanks for coming on Parrot Park Radio, and no doubt you're very excited to be getting back to training and having Bobby call the shots.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Thanks, Grace.
Thank you.
Bye.
Tell you what, they're all very well spoken down in the Bridge North Football Club women's team. Bobby,
yeah, definitely. Grace is one of the ones we spoke about it. At the end of last year, we had a very young side, and when we had a review of the coaches at the end of the season, we just wanted to add players with footy experience, but because the women's game's fairly new, they weren't out there everywhere, and there's some clearance rules and things like that. But apart from that, we wanted to add people with life experience, and Grace is certainly one of those. She has had a year of football a couple of years ago at South, but Grace and Lucy grew up on a farm. They understand there's no substitute for hard work, and that not everything, just comes easy. So they work very hard at it, and they're tremendous people to have involved with our group. They've been fantastic, and both of them played great in the practice match. Lucy's the practice match against OL, she was great. She had a lot of the footy and kicked a nice big long goal, and yeah.
No, great to have around the club. Sure.
Very good. All right, now we've still got plenty to come tonight, so don't go anywhere. Number 7 in our top 10 of the century, well, the first 20 years at least, is coming up after the break. And also we've got the lotto draw where we give a bit of money away here on Parrot Park Radio as well. So time for a quick break. When we come back, we'll will reveal number 7 on the list, the top 10 of Bridgnorth Footy Club in the 2000s.
Beams Brothers is our longest serving sponsor, who are big supporters of local football. Beams offers a huge variety of products from agricultural lime and dolomite, landscaping materials to machine hire, all at affordable prices. Beams Brothers have grown from humble beginnings to now being one of the West Hamers' biggest employers. Past present employees have pulled on the Parrot's Guernseys, with 4 brothers, Ian, Ted, Tony and Donald, playing with the club, also with brother-in-law Peter Stratton. Robin Tasker had a kick, as did modern-day star Joel Clements. Call Beams Brothers today.
Atkins Removals, family owned and operated for over 60 years. Our highly trained, happy staff care about your possessions as if it was their own. We also offer container storage and packing materials. Call club sponsor Atkins Removals today on 6326 4100.
Motel 429 Sandy Bay, Hobart. Terrific long-term sponsor of the Bridgnorth Parrots. Great place to stay for all our members travelling down to the capital. Owned by past player and committee person David Patmore and his wife Louisa. Overlooking the picturesque Derwent River, across the road from Rest Point and a short drive to the CBD. They provide outstanding accommodation including deluxe water views. Ideal for the corporate or leisure traveller.
And welcome back to Parrot Park Radio. Great to have your company with Ollie, Bobby, Pup and me, Rick Fontaine. And that's me just warming up the balls for the Parrot Park Lotto. Coming up a little bit later where we're going to give away a little bit of money. I wonder whether our next guest might be in the draw for the money as well. But he has made the draw in the top 10 players of the century for the Bridgnorth Footy Club. Just to give you a little bit of background before we reveal, he made his debut for the club way back in 2007 against Scottsdale in round 1 of that year. Played 103 senior games, only the 3 reserve games, so a pretty good ratio there in his 106-game career with the Parrots. 133 goals as well. Took out the Best and Fairest award in his second year at the club in 2008 and 3 times has finished in the top 5 as well. And, of course, probably the highlight at Bridgnorth, senior premiership player in 2010 and named Rover in the Bridgnorth Football Club Team of the Decade for 2000 to 2009. And, of course, a very distinguished career, the Launceston Football Club as well. So, boys, very good to be able to announce and welcome tonight to the show our number 7 player in the top 10 of the century, Chris Savage, who joins us now. G'day, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, very good, mate. Yourself?
Going very well. Congratulations on that. And reeling off a few numbers and figures there must bring back a lot of memories going back to from 2007.
Oh, I think you might have got me mixed up with somebody else. That doesn't sound like something I've done.
No, definitely did it, mate.
Yeah, no, it's been a very good career and a bit frustrating, of course, with footy at the moment. Obviously, TSL impacted, but, of course, all the football in Tasmania and around Australia at the moment. What are you doing with yourself, in this sort of isolated period away from football? In your role, are you keeping in touch with the players? What's your role entail at the moment?
Yeah, well, it's a good thing for us, for myself being a builder. Work hasn't stopped flowing for us, but on the football side of it, yeah, it sucks more so for the community, I suppose. Probably more so in the local leagues, I think, more than the statewide league. They get as many supporters to a community game than what they do in the state league games. But yeah, I'm still involved in the football club at Launceston. I'm the bench coach on game day and backline coach for the seniors. So we pretty much just got all the boys on their program now, just running around in their pairs. But yeah, we have a Zoom meeting once a week with our lines, and then I just finished at coach one about an hour ago actually. So just trying to figure out different ways and things we can do to make sure we're on track when we we get the nod to start training as a full team and to have a kick again.
G'day, Chris. Bobby Beams here, mate. Congratulations on being in the top 10 of the century.
Thank you, Robert. That's quite a surprise, really.
Oh, no, definitely not, mate. You had an outstanding career with us. It was a pleasure to certainly watch some of the freakish things you were able to do and goals you kicked, marks you took. It was great to have you on board over many years. What are some of your highlights at the club at Bridgenorth? Obviously, you went away. You played in a state league premiership as well. But at Bridgenorth, what were your highlights there?
Clearly, as you said on the intro there, the premiership is right up there. To win the flag, it's something pretty special because it goes on like that was 10 years ago this year, obviously. So you've always got mates. You've always got mates through a footy club, but when you win a flag together, it's something a bit different. Those mates, you might not see a lot of them for 10 years, and when you do see them, it's like it was yesterday you play together. So flags are always right up there. The footy club in general, just how much of a family club it is a real eye opener, especially when you go there as a young bloke. But I reckon one of the biggest things that I really enjoyed about the club was, after training or after a game, you come in and you veer to the left-hand corner of the bar, and there's always a few old boys there that, you give up 10 or 20 minutes of your time and have a chat, have a beer with them, and you learn a fair bit of old school stuff about the club and where it started, how they were involved, and how they used to cut the trees down, drag them out with their tractor, and created the footy club is where it is now. So that's probably one of the big highlights is talking to the old blokes, really, mate.
Yeah, no, and there's a lot of history in the men you're talking about there, and such a great thing that I noticed a lot. You would come in and you'd speak to them, and meant so much to a lot of those blokes, and some aren't with us nowadays. But some of your better players you played with and against, and probably even include state league as well.
Yep.
Who would they be?
I was having to think of this the other day, and when you win a flag, you try to think good players that you played with. And to win a flag, you obviously need a lot of good players, over the whole ground. But a couple that do stand out is, I don't know if he's Premier, President, Prime Minister, the Prince, or is he just God of Parrot Park in Joel Clements. He stands out where he's a big man, he's fit, he's nice and pie, but I still wouldn't want to cross him. He can play anywhere. He's one of those standout players, but Joshy Murphy, he was a different kettle of fish again. He's a lot shorter than Joel, but we would play a pretty soggy, crappy day down at Scottsdale on the ground there, and someone like Cow Beams would roll out with 28-inch screw-in studs, and Clemo would have his 26 inches in, and Joshy Murphy will roll out with 5mm moulds in. He said, mate, it's that muddy, I don't slip over. And I can't ever remember him seeing him lose his feet. So there are a couple of guys that really stood out to me at the Parrot Park. Guys I played against. Chrissy Jones was always a really good player for Georgetown once he came back from North Launceston. Adam Derbyshire at Launceston, when he was on, you give him the ball anywhere within 60 metres and he was kicking your sausage rolls. So Scotty Stevens, the way that he trained and led, he had a never give in attitude. Like at training, one night we were having a brace off through that. It was a horrible day at night at training, so we were having a brace off, and we were kicking along all right, and a couple of us got to sort of 12, 13 minutes, and him and another bloke, they got to like 16 and a half minutes, and he was shaking over his whole body, but there was no way in hell he was going to let this younger bloke beat him. Just things like that, which he was the captain at the time, and just sort of shows what sort of player he is. But when you get a few guys that roll back in from the AFL and play the state league, like they might come back in their 30 couples or 33, 34, but they've played AFL for a reason, and they're pretty handy around goals, and they're guys you can't give. If you give them a step and a half, it's too much, and they can make you pay around around goals like an Ian Cullinan or anything like that. So, yeah, there's just a couple, mate, but, the list could go on and on and on.
Yeah, you certainly, obviously, you played 100 games with us. I think you were 100 at Lonnie as well, or around?
Just something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so you 200, over 200 senior games. You've definitely played with and against some very good players. But before I hand over to Pup, I'll just say, yes, the 2010 flag, we celebrated that very well, and we will be having a premiership reunion, whether it's later this year or next year. So don't worry about that. That will be happening.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear.
G'day, Christopher. Pup here, mate. How are you?
Very well, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, going all right. You're obviously along the same lines as Logan, building. You're quite busy at the minute.
Yep.
You down the northeast coast at the minute or not?
No, I just actually finished butchering up 2 pigs in the garage. I'm heading down the middle in the morning, mate.
Yep. Okay. By the way, how is that annoying old man of yours?
Yeah, same thing. He's annoying, so he's going all right.
He'd be champing at the bit to get out there just to take the piss out of people, wouldn't he?
Yeah, 100%. He is fond of, I don't know if you say take it out of people, but you'd say constructive criticism, I like to call it.
Yeah, no, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Listen, I don't know if I can do it on the show tonight and try and clear something up. Obviously, I don't know if you've been listening. Nunny asked him a few stories I'd heard, and he was pretty honest with everything. Same with Plugger and that. I got one thing, and can't believe it's been a decade since that 2010 premiership. And as you know, we celebrated long and hard all that weekend, and my good self, I was on the committee, and thought I would have played as well the way I celebrated. But I think it was about 3 or 4 o'clock on the Sunday. I've gone out into the.
I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
No. Let me finish, please. Myself and Feather slept out in the umpire's room over the weekend, and I had to go out to my bag to grab something at about 4 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, geez, I reckon I could put an hour's kip in here. All good, and should have locked the door. Should have locked the door, I suppose, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Woke up and
that's something I would have done.
I was covered in lime and sauce, tomato and barbecue sauce, and I've had groundhogs out there everywhere trying to find out who it is, and I still don't know after 10 years. I don't know whether you would have any info on that, Chris.
Oh well, I have heard a rumour, but rumours are rumours, so you can't really buy into them too much. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I really don't know. We might just have to wait another 10 years before it sort of airs itself out.
I think we could work on it and bring it out at the reunion, surely.
We probably could do something like that,
Put me out of my misery, please.
Point the finger at a few people.
No,
I don't know if you can make it 4 o'clock now.
Golly, lime and sauce, you would have attracted the seagulls out there, wouldn't you?
Oh, hey, you look good.
Dear, Pup's shaking his head. Dear, oh dear. Well, you brought it up, so you
can't...
I
did bring it up.
I think Pup might have been in the bad books for a while. It might not have been his sleeping bag he was in.
Okay.
Oh, golly. We're really opening up can of worms now. 10 years on, aren't we? Dear, oh dear.
He needs to let go by the sound of that, doesn't he?
It does.
Yeah. Let it go, mate. Let it go.
Thanks, mate.
G'day, Chris. Ollie here. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate.
Just a quick one for me. Obviously, quite often guys sort of have a crack at state league footy for a fair while, or they play country footy. You've obviously done a little bit of both. Yep. Has there been one thing or a couple of different things that have motivated you with your footy? Was it you had your time with Bridgenorth and wanted to have a bit of a crack at a higher level and all the rest? What was I suppose for you throughout your career was your motivation and led you to going about it the way that you did?
Yeah, well, first started off at Launceston as a junior player. Played all there, and I sort of got my first gig senior football as a 15-year-old at Launceston. Played a little bit when I was 16, 17, and then I just sort of want to have a bit of time away from it. Butted heads with a couple of people, as you do at every football club. I didn't have my licence at that time, so it was pretty hard to get up from the sunny coast in Beauty Point all the time for training 3 nights a week, and so I went back down home and played a year with my brothers down at the Cats, and then that was the same year Launceston won their first NTFL flag. So I thought, I'll stay away for a year, then go back, and then they won another one. So I'll stay away and go back. So I didn't want to be like a bandwagon jumper. And then they won another one, so I thought, oh, stuff. And then by this time, we were building something pretty good at Bridgenorth. I think Wayne Mitchell was coaching then.
Yep,
at Bridgenorth, and I was sort of put in 3 years there already, or it might have been 2 years, and we started growing as a senior team, and a few more blokes were sort of interested in coming down, and that was about the time Paulie Beach took over, and so we got to a stage where I was that stubborn that I missed out on some flags, playing all my juniors and some seniors at Launceston, and I thought, well, stuff, we're going to get one here at Parrot Park, because I think when I first went to Bridgenorth, we may have been struggling a bit. Maybe I reckon Papa Bobby can say something about that. But and then we worked away for a few more years, and we got the big prize, the big dance, and then I thought it was a good time. I worked so hard over the 5-year period, and we got the club, the premiership. We so much needed. It'd been a fair while between drinks, and thought it was just a good chance to sort of get back and have that crack at statewide when I was 22, I suppose then, or 23. 23 I reckon it would have been. So just so happened to fall that when I went back, Launceston was still pretty strong, and we made another grand final and won one. So that's just sort of the way it is. But it's more so, I suppose, for me, it was just that once I got to Bridgenorth, it was I didn't want to leave straight away because Launceston were winning. But then once I was there for that couple of years, the Parrot Parks just closed the door on me, and I was sucked in there. They when you get to such a good club and some good blokes around you, the women as well, and the mini league committee and things like that, it's hard to leave. So that's probably where it was for me, mate.
We'd certainly love to get you back too one day, Chris. So never say never, eh?
That's it. Never say never.
Very good. Well, Chris, congratulations, mate. Number 7. I know you said you were pretty surprised by it, but number 7 in a pretty fine list of players that have played over the last 20 years at the Bridgenorth Footy Club is plenty to be proud of. And thanks for sharing some great memories, and good luck down at Lonnie this year. Let's hope things head in the right direction and we can progress from getting more people on the park to eventually getting out there and playing some matches.
Yeah, that's it. No worries.
Excellent. All right. Thanks again, and congratulations, and thanks for coming on tonight.
Cheers, guys. Too
Thanks,
easy. See you later.
See you,
mate.
Yeah, fair play, Chris Savage,
yeah.
with Bridgenorth, and obviously Lonnie as well, and obviously Mitch Thorpe sees a lot in him as bench coach down there at the Lonnie Footy Club as well. So still got a lot to offer.
Definitely, he was, and his leadership, obviously, as a coach now, but he went back to Lonnie. He was captain his last couple of years there, which some very good players coming through there in that state league. So to be held in that regards, credit to him.
Yep, excellent. Righto, one more ad break, and we've got some money to give away, boys. We're going to rattle the balls, 100 balls in there, and we're going to see if we can give some money away for Parrot Park Lotto. Stick around, and we'll do that after the break.
Parrot's major sponsor, Fulton Hogan, formerly Venarchi Contracting, are your specialists in asphalt and sealing of driveways, sporting courts and private and public roads. We can also supply to fix your timber edging, retaining walls and stormwater systems, and we can rejuvenate your own asphalt to look like new. For statewide free quotes, please call 6325 4400. That's 6325 4400.
Hillwood Berries is a family-owned and operated berry farm nestled along the Tamar River. From its beginning, just 9 years ago, the Dornoff family have proudly developed a thriving business of producing delicious seasonal fresh berries. Amongst many groups, they support the Seasonal Worker Program and value the great reward that comes from seeing their local communities develop as a result. They have been proud platinum sponsors of the Bridgenorth Parrots Football Club, with men's and women's teams for the past 3, going on 4 years, and look forward to continuing this sponsorship into the future.
Titan Windows and Doors are your leaders in quality UPVC double glazed windows and doors with exceptional energy efficiency. With a comprehensive range, our friendly staff are sure to help you select the perfect choice for your new or existing premises. Call in and see us today at 9 Lagana Park Drive or phone 63 303 639 proud Bridgenorth Parrots major sponsor.
Welcome back to Parrot Park Radio. Well, we're nearly at the end of episode 4. Great to catch up with Logan, Grace and Chris. And now we've got a bit of money to give away, boys. Any of you, are you guys actually in this draw, or are you not allowed to be?
Not allowed to be, mate.
What about Ollie? Special guest? Is he
I think the tickets sold out too quick before Ollie could get on board, I think.
Yeah, well, I remember when it went up, I sort of thought, I'll put one in, and then a couple of days later, it was all filled up. So I think it just shows another example of our great footy club when people getting around things like this. So yeah, looking forward to
things are going very well.
To see who wins some money. A couple of cult figures in Paddy Mackerel and Matty Zanetto won some money last week. So I'll be interested to see who's up this week.
So Bobby, you've got the list there as I get ready to spin it. So what do we? $200.
$200 first up, and then $100 second.
Righto, let's go. Let's give them a good spin. These balls. We're warming them up. They're loud, aren't they? Oh, golly, one's fallen out. How's that happened? Yeah. Oh, that must have been the first one. I've gone to it. Righto.
That's the one.
That's why. That usually happens, doesn't it? What do we got, Ollie?
Number 11.
11. Legs 11.
Nick Edmonds. Nick, well done, mate.
The old boy.
Yes.
$200. There we go. Well done. Well done to Nick. $200 coming your way, and we've got $100 coming up next, and that is going to be number 58, Bobby. 58.
58.
Who's the lucky winner of $100?
Tanya Pearce.
Tanya Pearce. Well done, Tanya. $100 coming your way. $200 to Nick. So very, very nice. So number 58. We'll whack that one down there. And I'll tell you what, show tonight has gone for about 59 minutes so far. But it's always great to get a bit of talk back. And we've had someone actually just ring in. And Chris has just got me a little word in my ear. So let's take a final call before we wrap things up tonight, boys. Who we got on the line, Chris? Tex, we got you. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thanks for giving us a call here at Parrot Park Radio. I'm not quite sure how you got the number, but it's great to have you on the line. But what did you want to share with us tonight, mate?
Well, we just thought that, with Pup and Bobby sort of spilling the beans on a few of the Bridgenorth faithful, that we might have a bit of gossip on maybe Pup tonight.
Right, okay.
Hang on a minute. I looked in my contract, and this wasn't supposed to be... what's going on here?
You haven't signed anything.
We don't know about this, but it's bloody good.
Yeah.
What do you got, Tex?
I'm a little bit nervous because Pup's probably got as much dirt on me, so I've got to...
Yeah, I'm starting to sweat up a bit here.
Yeah, we'll be running out of time by the time you're finished, so it'll be okay. We'll just leave it at your call.
Well, the Bridgenorth faithful, our flock out there, they probably realised that Pup was quite a servant of the club over the years, and he came there just after they won the 84 premierships. They won the double. He arrived in 85. And he had his 23 years. I think he played over 250 games. Most of them, majority of them, seniors. And he retired in about 2007. And once they retired, they won some more premierships after that. But not in Pup's time, unfortunately. So he had a little bit of trouble with his hamstrings. He probably should have played 300 games, I think, if it wasn't for the hamstrings and a few little indiscrepancies with the on the ground. But so he's been around for a long time. I think out at Longford one day, someone decided to dust a bit of mud off his nose, their knuckles, and he must have told him that, his mother hit up a little bit harder than that, but he said when he hit him the second time, he hit a little bit harder, so that probably wasn't wise to see him say, Pup, so yeah. Anyway.
What else have we got on him? You got any other dirt you'd like to share over all those games?
Well, he was pretty fit back then. He was probably 60 kilo ringing wet back then, but he never took a backward step. Didn't matter how big the opposition player was or how ugly he was. Pup was he was never one to back down, so he stood his ground, and he was played a lot of games. But more recently, he's been up there on the little farm at Bridgenorth, and he's got his 2 cattle up there, and he plays around with them. And he had a nice steer there, young calf there, one year or two ago, and he thought he put the ring on him, so he must have borrowed both his bigger lastrators, and he coached him around the paddock volley for a couple of hours, and I finally called him and rolled him over to put the lastrator, the ring on him, and it was a heifer calf, so probably wasted a little bit of his time there, but thought was there, I suppose. But anyway, now tell me, Pup.
Welcome to farming, wasn't it, Tex?
You got nominated for Tool of the Week. You had to wear the jacket here a year or two ago. And then what happened there? Can you tell us what happened?
Oh, I can't recall that actually.
Can't you?
You might have to enlighten people. This will be all crap, of course.
Oh, crap. I think we sent himself a text message one week and one boy didn't get a response. But
no, actually, I've got to clarify that. It wasn't a text, it was an email.
Email? Well, there you go.
I went to send an email out and whatever I did, it bounced back straight to me. But, yeah. That's pretty good, Tex. You haven't found much on me at all.
Oh, well, I've got to be careful to say because it all could come back. But Pup helps out a bit with the line marking around the ground. And a couple of years ago, he was having a bit of trouble with the mark and likes to be nice and straight. And the thing just wanted to go around circles. And his shoulder was about to drop off, I think, when he finished. But
thanks
a good old mate that just won the $100 in the Parrot Lotto. He must have inside.
He won the 200. Nick did, yeah.
I thought he won the 100. Well, he won 200, did he?
Just
but
anyway, thought he'd adjust the wheels up on the line marker, didn't he?
Yeah, Jerry rigged the wheels on your Pup, and you just want to go around circles. So
you've had a bit of a run-in with the old line marking over the years after what we heard from Chris a little earlier. Dear, oh dear.
But you've done well, Tex. You've done well.
Well, just thought we'd sort of throw a bit back at you this week. Like I said, a little bit nervous because you know as much about me, so I know about you.
Yeah, so, what, Bobby's getting a bit red in the face. Good. He's he knows what might be coming over the coming weeks.
We've still got quite a few.
Too much on me. I don't think you got too much on me.
We've got a few episodes to go.
You probably know a few that do, though.
Yeah, might be someone else who does.
Big Bobby.
Sorry, mate.
Talk to the right people, Bobby. You never know what you can find.
Oh, you never know. Well, we might have to screen our talkback callers, I think.
Well, we love to hear from the public and the supporters. So, Tex, thank you, mate, for being a good sport and coming on tonight and having a chat with us.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, boys.
Thanks, Tex.
See you, Tex.
Another great show, I'm sure. Thank you. Bye.
See ya. Wasn't that a nice way to finish the show tonight? Tex giving us a call on the line at City Park Radio. Fantastic. Hey, big thanks, of course, to Chris Ball and City Park Radio for having us here again. Ollie, as we get closer to a bit of training, do you ramp up your training away from the ground and get your head out of the books from studying and do a bit of extra running or weights?
Yeah, well, weights is pretty hard at the moment because obviously all the gyms and stuff are closed, but I've been trying to get a fair bit of running in. I had a good spell when the cricket season finished. It had been a pretty long summer, but yeah, hopefully this time next week I'm actually coming from the footy club after training. That'd be nice to come and have a chat after getting on the park for the first time in a while. But yeah, just gotta keep ramping up and prepare to play. So hopefully when we do get going, we're firing on all cylinders.
Yep, no, absolutely. All right, Bobby, Pup, thanks for tonight again.
Yeah, just before we go, Rick.
Yep.
Just to finish on a bit of a sadder note. Just want to mention 1967 Bridgenorth Senior Premiership player Tony Beams passed away at the weekend. Tony's my uncle, great man, integral part of the 67 Premiership. So thoughts are obviously with his family, Dale and Tammy.
No, well said.
Yeah, and also on that note too, the sad passing Sunday of motor racing stalwart Ian Beachy. So the footy club obviously sends out our condolences to Paul and his extended family.
Yeah, absolutely. Sad times indeed, and condolences to all the family and friends, and of course yourself too, Bobby, on with your uncle. On that note, we will wrap things up for Parrot Park Radio episode 4. Next week, of course, number 6 in our Players of the Century. Look forward to that and more guests, and of course Parrot Park Lotto, and who knows, we might get another call or two randomly coming into City Park Radio at the end of the show as well.
I'm worried now.
All right. Have a good week, boys.
All right, thanks, Rick.
Good fun. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Awesome.
Cheers, Rick. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.